live, local, and talking about the teams that matter to you. This is Talkin Sports with Jim Shovlin on Fort Wayne Sports Station, 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Brought to you by McMahon's Best One Tire and Auto Care.
Good morning and welcome to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One. Along with DC Hendrix, I'm Jim Shovlin. Thanks for tuning in as we're talking local sports of all sorts until the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Now, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so via the text line at 260-447-8500. That's 260-447-8500. And text us some information, a rant, a question. We'll see about getting that on the air for you. Wow. If you like basketball, if you love basketball, this is your time of the year. Oh, my goodness. And, of course, we've got the Homestead Spartans of Chris Johnson heading to semi-state today, the Elkhart semi-state.
Let's go.
Taking on Crown Point. That's a game you're going to hear right here on 1380 The Fan, 100.9 FM. And so high school Hoosier hysteria is winding down just as March Madness gets going. And, of course, we've got the Purdue Boilermakers. They're going to be taking on McNeese State at about noon, 12:10 or so this afternoon from Providence, Rhode Island. And that's a game you can hear, programming note here, on 92.3 FM. Okay, 92.3 FM is carrying the Purdue game against McNeese State. Pregame will be at 11 o'clock. So you'll get an hour's worth of pregame for that. And as the Boilers seek to get to the Sweet 16. But, yeah, there's all that going on. And, of course, the Indiana Tech Warriors ladies basketball team, the women were beaten last night, or on Friday, and eliminated from NAIA additional play. And just a great season for them. I had firsthand knowledge of that Warriors team because I was a PA announcer for them this past season. But yeah, they were beaten by Freed Hardman by a score of 54-43 on Friday, and that's not the whole story of this trip out to Sioux City, Iowa for the Warriors. And I believe there are a couple of websites that went in depth. They drove right into a blizzard, that blizzard that came through the Plain States, and ended up being taken in by a coach out there and his family. And they stayed there, slept there, bunked on the floor. Neighbors came through with additional food for everybody. And it's just one of those stories that, will warm your heart. And then the family decided, they were going to follow the Warriors too. So they came to the game on Friday. So everything, just the good-heartedness of people showed through there. And I'm sure that Coach Jesse Biggs and company were very appreciative of all of that hospitality out in Sioux City, Iowa. So pretty cool story. And, of course, on a solemn note, rest in peace to the champ, Mr. George Foreman, who passed away yesterday at age 76. One of my favorites because it seemed like the heavyweights of that time, the Muhammad Ali's, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, had, in addition to the fastest lightning hands and the strength, had personality. They made boxing a little bit bigger than life. And of course, George Foreman, he did the talk show circuits and everything, and the George Foreman Grill was always, keeping his name out there as well. But what a boxer he was, my goodness, and a businessman. So rest in peace, Mr. George Foreman. So what else is going on? Hey, how about the Coliseum today at 4 p.m.? The Trinity Bantams are going to take on the NYU Violets today at 4 o'clock. The NCAA Division III National Championship at Memorial Coliseum. And Trinity advanced after beating conference rival Wesleyan 73-69. And it's interesting because they end up coming into the Final Four coming up against each other, same conference. Wesleyan was like 30-1 at the time. Their only loss on the season was in the conference championship game to Trinity. And so they split before that, and then Trinity got the best of them at the Coliseum. And two great games. I've been part of this NCAA Division III Final Four and championship for 4 years now. And I'll tell you what, the Division III players get after it. And I've said this many times already, but my goodness, you talk about hustle, you talk about pushing the ball up the court, transitions, diving for loose balls, with no regard to what you might be running into just off the court. These student athletes go at it, and everything is done very well by not only Visit Fort Wayne, Manchester University, and the Coliseum staff. Everything, all I's are dotted, T's are crossed. So congratulations to them. And that, once again, that's at 4 o'clock today at the Memorial Coliseum. So, you know what I heard this morning on the news, DC?
Yeah.
You're an Indiana Fever fan, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. It was said, I believe, that 41 of the Fever's 44 regular season games are going to be on national TV.
The Caitlin Clark effect.
So if you didn't see Caitlin Clark last season,
let's go.
Let's take
all
a look.
but 3 games.
Yeah, and I wonder what 3 of those are. Maybe something else going on. But anyway, yeah, that was very impressive. Now, let's just make sure that Pacer Sports and Entertainment can make sure to lock up Ms. Caitlin Clark for the long term. That would be awesome. Once again, 260-447-8500 is the text line. If you have question, comment, rant, etc., we will take a look at it and see if we can get that on the air for you. DC, how's your week?
It's been good. It's been good. Really busy, as usual. Just, working the multiple jobs. Had a kid trying out for the soccer team. Dealing with that, getting ready for spring sports. I got 2 kids playing one kid's playing 2 spring sports, and one is getting ready to play soccer. So it's getting ready for busy time. And in the midst of all that, trying to keep up with my bracket in the NCAA tournament at the same time.
I had a good bracket day on Thursday. I mean, good for me. I was 14-2. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even look this morning because like midway through the afternoon yesterday, I think I'd already lost 5 games yesterday alone. So I thought, I guess I'm not in the running for that car anymore, but I do one bracket.
Yeah.
Because if I do any more than one, it's tough to, follow. Or you're watching a game, I hope they lose, but I hope the other team wins because, I do one bracket.
Yes.
And that's it.
Done. That's the way it should be done.
So
I haven't even. The first day I was already toast. So this is my problem. This is a problem I have. I get really upset happy, and every year I say to myself, I'm not going to be upset happy this year, and I still do it every single year. I usually, in the midst of that, I usually get 1 or 2 right because I picked too many of them. So I got a couple right, but I missed way too many on the first day.
How'd Clemson do?
They lost. I lost that one. That was one I lost.
I didn't.
You picked that?
I did.
How?
I picked an upset. That was one of the upsets, and I know
I thought they were
exactly like yourself.
Yeah.
I have to throw some. You got to throw some upsets in there.
You do, but I do too much.
Yeah. Well,
I get upset happy, and that's my problem.
Well, you'll either run away with something,
yes,
or
yes. I got McNeese State right, and I got Drake right, and I think that was it. I think I missed. Yeah. Other than that, I picked too many. Like I picked North Carolina to beat Ole Miss. Close game, but didn't happen. So stuff like that, I came up a little short on that. And I didn't pick Colorado State either over Memphis. I missed that one. I didn't pick that one right.
So, but at least none of the big dogs that have the opportunity to get Final Four and you know, all that, at least they're still around. And so brackets aren't completely busted. A lot of the favorites won on Thursday, except for the noted upsets we just talked about. But then
Purdue looked pretty good.
They did.
I mean, you know, granted they played High Point, and I know they only beat them by 12, but like it was a dominant 12. Like it was the game wasn't as close as the final score made it seem.
The highlight for High Point, pardon the pun there, was their student announcers, that were there and got all kinds of viral time as well, so. But
Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman looked really good in that game. Hopefully they can continue it because they don't have a very easy bracket.
Now, see, I wasn't able to see the game, but I saw the box score after the game, and Fletcher Lawyer took few shots. Mm-hmm. But then I looked at his minutes, and his minutes were up there in the 30s, I believe.
Yeah.
So I just was wondering, when I first saw that I think he might only scored 3 or 4 points, something like that. I thought, I wonder if he got hurt. But it was just one of those things, and he didn't have that many assists either. So I thought, well, you feed it into Kaufman Wren or get Braden Smith involved. But anyway.
Yeah, so McNeese isn't going to be an easy one.
No.
We've seen what they did in the first game.
Yeah.
Against Clemson, so.
Exactly. So we'll see what shakes there. 447-8500. Well, 260-447-8500. Got a text that came in. This is Jim. How about the new floor unveiled by the Coliseum? It looks fantastic. And only 1 3-point line. Yeah, how about that? It was beautiful. And I happened to see Nathan Dennison as soon as I walked in there on Thursday. And it's like, oh, my goodness. That was beautiful.
It did.
On the one side, on the far side from the scorer's table, they have just, inbounds. They have kind of like the city skyline. And it's and the court's color is like a light brown, but a darker shade than what you would have expected previously. But get on out and see that. It is very impressive. And I even mentioned to Nathan, it was like a proud father moment for him just to see that on the court. Purdue Fort Wayne will be playing on that next year, and this was their last year with that previous one that they used to take the inlay of the center court.
Yeah.
When the Mad Ants were in town, they'd have the Mad Ants logo, then they'd swap it out for the PFW Mastodons.
It's about time to close that chapter and
get
the Mastodons up in there.
There you go. So, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful court, and just kind of going along with the themes of today with basketball courts and putting a little personality into them as well. So thank you for that as well. So, hey, what we're going to do, let's go ahead, step out, take a timeout. But before we do, I want to tell you about my friends at Culligan, of course. If you've got a water softener, and it doesn't have to be a Culligan water softener, have you had it inspected lately? I know you might dump salt in it every once in a while and keep it rolling, but is it working? Is it calibrated properly? Call Culligan today. 484-8668. That's 484-8668. And ask about the water softener inspection. Once again, it doesn't have to be a Culligan. It can be any brand. A service person will come out. A trained professional will come out. Someone who's dealt with water softeners for years, knows them like the back of their hand. They'll come out, take a look, run a couple of tests just to make sure your water and your water softener are doing their job. If they are, that's great. They'll let you know. And if it's not, they'll make a couple of suggestions. But they are so full of integrity, it's just incredible. And so you owe it to yourself and to your home. Keep that soft water rolling. My goodness, your water heaters, your washing machines, your dishwashers. I know somebody that recently had to replace a water heater, and it just decided, it's going to go out. $3,500 later for an emergency, retrofit and everything. It was, $3,500 that they weren't really planning on spending. But anyway, call them today. 484-8668. Give your people Culligan Water. We'll be back with more. You're listening to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One on 1380 The Fan, 100.9 FM.
How do you thank the people that add so much to our lives? How do you celebrate a community that brings out the best in all of us? You give back. In 2022, McMahon's Best One gave more than $100,000 to local organizations that are always there to lift us up, to listen, to strengthen us, every one of us. Throughout the year, McMahon's Best One will continue to give back to the community that has given so much to us, bringing out the best in each other, together.
Last season, the Indiana Pacers made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Can they do even better than that this season? Well, this is the place to find out. I'd like to invite you to join Pat Boylan, Eddie Gill, and me as we bring you all of the action all season long as the Pacers continue their quest for a championship. You can follow along right here on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM, Fort Wayne's sports station.
Running a business is challenging enough without the added stress of uncertain insurance coverage. That's where Hoopy Insurance Services, in partnership with Indiana Farmers Insurance, can help. We take the time to understand the specific needs of your business, allowing us to tailor a coverage plan that's just right for you. Contact us today at 260-486-7488 or visit us online at hupe-insurance.com. Your business deserves more than just insurance. It deserves peace of mind.
It's called the 340B Hospital Markup Program. Hospitals mark up discounted drugs and pocket the difference, charging patients $5,000 for cancer drugs they bought for $500 and suing patients that can't pay. It's how big tax-exempt hospitals abuse the 340B program. If patients aren't benefiting, where's the money going? Learn more at 340bmarkup.org. Paid for by Pharma.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Donors choose. Support a classroom. Build a future. Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? Let's do the math. That comes out to over $1.2 billion a year. And that's just not right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once the request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org. Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. In recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible.
Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Talkin' Sports with Jim Shovlin on Fort Wayne Sports Station, 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Talkin' Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One. Along with DC Hendrix, I'm Jim Shovlin. Thanks for tuning in as we're talking local sports of all sorts until the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. If you've got a question, comment, suggestion, etc., hey, join us on the text line at 260-447-8500. That's 260-447-8500.
I thought we were going to wake up and come in to a bunch of texts from Hoosier fans is what I thought we were going to come into.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought, because all the Hoosier fans that I've talked to are like really upset they didn't make the tournament and felt like they had a legitimate argument to be in the tournament.
You know, I saw that both went hot and cold with what I saw. Many people thinking, you know, wait a minute. IU, no, Carolina got in. Well, Bubba Cunningham. But, and then there were others that said, you know what? Let's just get this season behind us and start over and go from there. And so that was kind of the consensus. So anyway, it's it's just one of those things. And you know what's interesting to me, when I first came in the studio this morning, and of course we have a television there that's always set on something sports related.
That's right.
It was some kind of a drama show or something. And I thought, it's True TV. Okay. The only time I tune into True TV is during the first couple of rounds of the NCAA tournament. So,
that's right.
Yeah, that is indeed what was going on there. But, I thought, how is this? Oh, well, whatever. Okay, yeah. There were games last night.
The local teams, I mean, we got Purdue on the men's side that we get to cheer for. And
on the women's side, holy cow.
Yeah, well, they got destroyed.
Well.
But they made the tournament.
Yeah. But, hey, look at, Notre Dame. So, yeah.
That's my national champion.
Are they?
On my women's bracket, I have Notre Dame fighting Irish.
And you only did one women's bracket?
Of course.
Okay.
Only one.
Okay.
On the side. You know me.
I know. So I got to keep.
That one bracket of integrity.
The bracket of integrity.
Like that.
All right. In Blake Sebring's book, Fort Wayne Sports History, the entry for March 22nd. And by the way, this is a very special day for me. This is my little princess's birthday today. Melissa. Yeah, my little sissy.
Happy birthday.
She turns today.
What was that?
Yeah. And that was... oh, gosh, I remember the day she was born like it was yesterday. And, changed my life. I became a girl dad.
Yep, they do.
And my son became a brother. And he did quite well with that for a while until she started talking. And then it was like, and she became annoying, moving around and wanting to play with his toys and everything. He was about 4 years older than her, so. But, no, he did well. And, I'm just really proud of her. And so I want to wish Melissa Leninger a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Melissa.
And I'm sure she's listening. Well, if she is, she'll text.
Yep.
But if she's not, which I haven't seen a text yet. So, anyway. It's just one of those things. But let's take a look at what's gone on March 22nd in Fort Wayne Sports History, the book by Blake Sebring. In 1958, and you know what? That predates me. I was born in 1958, but it wasn't until about a month later or so. Southside wins the boys' state basketball title. And I know you're a big Archer supporter and Archer alum.
Yeah.
Says Southside coach Don Riker was known for playing his starting five until the game was over or until they collapsed. This time the Archers were far enough ahead that everyone got to play. Southside beat Crawfordsville 63-34 to win the area's second boys basketball state championship, the second greatest margin of victory in state finals history. And they were ranked number one most of the season after winning sectional and regional titles in 56 and 57. The Archers finished 28-2 in 1958, losing only to Muncie Central in a holiday tournament and in Michigan City in overtime. The toughest test was a 60-56 overtime heart-stopper against Central in the sectional semifinals. And that was the Central Tigers, who were phenomenal as well, coached by Mr. Bob Dilley. I don't know if they were back then, but he rose to extreme significance in high school coaching Central, and then he moved to Northrop when they opened and Central closed. Now, some of the other points in Fort Wayne sports history, March 22nd. In 1998, Kelly Racing gets its first victory as Scott Sharp wins at Phoenix. And that was Mr. Kelly's brainchild. You talk about being an IndyCar owner. My goodness. The Kelly family and Kelly Racing was synonymous with being right there at the forefront for quite some time. Also in 2003, the Fort Wayne Freedom win their first ever indoor football game by a score of 41-40. I think perhaps Matt Land was the coach of that team. He is now the athletic director at Tryon University. And in 2004, Chris Thomas scores 39 points as Notre Dame beats St. Louis 77-66 in a National Invitational Tournament game in front of a crowd of 11,074 at Memorial Coliseum, because they'd already pre-booked at that time. I don't know if it was the Joyce Center by that time or was it the Athletic and Convocation Center at Notre Dame. But they moved the game to Fort Wayne. Tickets went like wildfire. And Chris Thomas, CT, son of Frank Thomas, who grew up in Fort Wayne, graduated from Northside High School, where he was everything. He was, I believe, an all-state basketball player, pitcher on the baseball team, might have played football, might have been the quarterback on the football team as well, along with Alan McGee and guys like that. But, Chris Thomas, CT, was 39 points that night for Notre Dame. Also, now, I usually don't do this, but tomorrow, March 23rd, marks the 51st anniversary of the Northrop Bruins winning the boys' state basketball title. And that was incredible. One loss made all the difference for Northrop, bitterly disappointed after an early season 1-point loss to South Bend Adams. The Bruins resolved to play harder and smarter the rest of the season. They went on to win 26 games in a row and the state title. The Bruins finished 28-1 after beating Wayne Walls in Jeffersonville 59-56 for the state title in Bloomington. Walter Jordan led the Bruins with 18 points. Tom Madden had 16, Mike Muff 10. And all season long, teams had a hard time matching up with Muff, Jordan, Madden, and with Maurice Drinks and James Wembley as well in the starting five, though Jordan became the better-known player at Purdue and later in the NBA. He was the second leading scorer that season behind Muff. And Mike Muff was probably about 6'5", but a muscular 6'5". And when he went low post, forget it. He was getting his way to the bucket. And the high percentage shots, and he didn't miss. So, but that was a team that was coached by Mr. Bob Dilley, the aforementioned Mr. Bob Dilley. So just wanted to mention that as well, just kind of jog the memories of so many people that enjoy Fort Wayne sports history as well. So that's going on there. Tell you what, let's do. Let's go ahead, take a time out, and then come back. And when we do, let's talk to Mr. Mike McCaffrey, athletic director at the University of St. Francis, in our weekly Cougar chat. And then we will we have a text already for him. So we will do all that when we return. You're listening to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One on 1380 The Fan, 100.9 FM. Have you looked at your auto or homeowner's insurance rate lately? Think it's about time to get a competitive quote? Call the Wise Insurance Agency today at 260-747-5373. Located at 7410 Bluffton Road, Wise Insurance is a local company that's been in business for 25 years. Being an independent agent working with over 15 A-plus rated carriers allows Coach Ron Wise to assess your needs and premiums. The Wise Insurance Agency also offers motorcycle, RV, and watercraft insurance, as well as renter's insurance, flood, and umbrella policies. Multi-policy discounts are also available, and make sure to ask Ron about the good student discount up to 20%. Let Coach Wise show you the fundamentals of getting the right insurance. Don't put it off. Contact Coach Ron and the Wise Insurance Agency team today at 260-747-5373 or find them online at thewiseinsuranceagency.com.
The spring fashions have arrived at Christopher James Menswear, including Peter Millar, focusing on fabrics first, with an approachable attitude, a new era of elegant style. Whether it's knitwear, sport shirts, sweaters, casual pants, shorts, and footwear, Peter Millar is the name to know, and it's available at Christopher James Menswear. Get your spring and summer wardrobe updated now. Confidently dress your very best at Christopher James Menswear in Covington Plaza on West Jefferson.
In the past 4 years, only one independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in the Midwest has been awarded the Building a Higher Standard Distinguished Dealer Award, Gibson's Heating and Plumbing. From their start over 40 years ago, Gibson's Heating and Plumbing has built their family business to serve your family with the very best team. See it for yourself. When you read their Google reviews, over 2,000 and growing, you can read on their website and experience it for yourself. When you contact independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, GibsonsHeating.com. That's GibsonsHeating.com.
Right now, on My Deals Fort Wayne, enjoy 1 hour of axe throwing for two for only $45. Deadeye Dick's Axe Throwing is a full-size indoor axe throwing arena. The approximately 4,000 square foot Bullseye Bar, where they also carry wine slushes, as well as a huge selection of your favorite craft, IPA, cider, and domestic beers. Get your deal today on MyDealsFortWayne.com and come throw with the experts.
Turn up the heat with a hot grilled sub from Penn Station. For a limited time, sink your teeth into the bold and flavorful Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Chicken Sub, grilled to perfection and packed with that signature kick you crave. Don't wait, this spicy favorite won't be around forever. Penn Station, love your sub.
The YMCA is just a starting line. For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle and after school home. A section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your Y. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges. But many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Now back to Talkin Sports with Jim Shovlin on Fort Wayne Sports Station, 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One. That's DC Hendrix over there. I'm Jim Shovlin. Thanks for tuning in as we're talking local sports of all sorts until the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Text line is open at 260-447-8500 for your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. I had a text came in, and something that we had mentioned earlier in the show, at the top of the show, but it bears repeating. Purdue is going to be tipping off at 12:10 today And that game is going to be heard on 92.3 FM because of the Homestead Crown Point semi-state high school basketball game that will be on 1380 AM 100.9 FM. So, programming note for Purdue fans, it's going to be on 92.3. So, do take note of that. And DC Hendrix, your Wrestleholics podcast, which is usually heard Saturday nights at 10, is shifting to Sunday due to college basketball, correct?
Yep.
Well, and what time on Sunday?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. So there you go. Another programming note for that. So let's go to the Talkin Sports phone line powered by Fire Police City County Federal Credit Union, because waiting on there patiently is none other than University of St. Francis Athletic Director Mike McCaffrey. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Jimmy. How you doing, bud?
I am great this morning. Still basketball inebriated, it seems like. My goodness, it's just it's been a flood of basketball, and it's not going to stop for the next couple of weeks. But then when it does, it's baseball season. Ta-da.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's always a great time of year, that's for sure. In fact, Mike, we already had a text that came in on the text line. It says St. Francis spring football with a question mark. Can you tell us what is going on with the timeline of St. Francis spring football?
Yeah, so we just finished our first week. Started Monday. Kids were on spring break last week, and then came back and had our team meeting Sunday. Started practice Monday. We went Monday through Thursday. Gave the guys off on Friday. We'll do that again for 3 more weeks, and we'll wrap up with a spring game on Sunday, April 13th, over at Darcy Stadium. So, if you want to get your football fix on in the spring, come on out on Sunday the 13th for a fun little spring football game. But, we've got, a couple new guys that came in this break during the break between the 2 semesters, the fall and the spring, and obviously our seniors who have moved on. But you've got a hungry group out there who's, looking to build off of what they did last year, getting back to the postseason and, winning a conference again for the first time in a few years. So we're excited, and I know Coach D's fired up and ready to get after it this fall. But, obviously we've got spring ball here for the next few weeks and then a spring game on Sunday the 13th.
Now, if someone is going out for the first time to watch a spring game and expecting to see just a regular by-the-book football game, that's not quite the case. And can you explain some of the nuances of spring football?
Yeah, I think years ago you'd split them right down the middle. You'd have a blue, you'd have a white, or you'd have a blue and a black, and then you just go out and play 4 quarters of football. But this is more situational stuff. So, the first team offense goes against the second team defense for 10 plays, so let's say, and then you flip it around and go second team offense versus the first team defense for 10 plays and do some special teams. And I don't know if we get into the one-on-ones. I think we do put pretty much 11 guys out on the field and go situational for most of the day. But, that's generally how the spring game breaks down. It's not 4 quarters with a regular clock. You'll see, intensity, and it's real football, and they're tackling and all that kind of stuff. But it's structured more where we can have breaks and do situations that coaches really want to work on and just give people kind of a little taste of the football, but not a full 4-quarter game by any means. We're, biggest thing coming out of spring is you want to stay healthy, so we don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize that.
And it sounds like this is the inception of a lot of competition between several of the skill positions too. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, it's intense, and they're out there trying to win a spot for the fall. We've got a lot of guys coming back on both sides of the ball, but as you said, the skilled guys, obviously we lose Ovante Vickers, who is a very good wide receiver for us, and he's out there training and trying to play at the next level. But, Crosby McKeechin and those guys are back. A.J. Dandridge, they're all back. And see what young guys can step up, whether it's a Bodie Dickerson get into the starting lineup or one of these other young guys. Adam Smith is back again. So we've got a lot of good pieces back, and then it's just a matter of seeing which young guys want to step up and take some time this year.
Wow, the names you just mentioned, that's a pretty bona fide receiving core and then some. My goodness. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But, so football, once again, you said April 13th?
Yep, Sunday, April 13th. We're going to do it at noon.
Okay. Now, segue over to the spring sports, and there's a lot going on there. I noticed the women's softball team of Ryan Boland split a doubleheader yesterday, but their record right now is they're 12-6 overall, 5-3 in Crossroads League play, and split with Wesleyan yesterday.
Yeah, playing really well. Got off a little slow yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader, and I think the second inning got away from us quite a bit and got out of hand. I think it was 13-0 in the first game, but then turned around and put up 11 in the second game and ended up splitting that one. So really good for us to go split with Indiana Wesleyan at Indiana Wesleyan. Got to bounce back today and play, or we're not going to play today. They were going to play today against Spring Arbor, but they moved that one to March 26th, so the softball team will be off today. But playing well, again, as we've always talked about, when you get really good pitching in softball, then you have yourself a chance. And didn't get great pitching yesterday, but managed to put up enough runs to get out of there with a split. And trying to make sure we stay in that top half of the Crossroads League because they're playing really well. And it's still early, but we're trying to make sure that we get wins within the conference. So then when it comes to the conference tournament, we're in a good seed and we're in a good spot and able to try to make a run to maybe repeat some of the magic that our baseball team had last year. I know the softball team was, watching that run to the postseason last year and saying, why not us? Why can't we do it? And I think they dedicated their entire offseason to being in a position to try to do that. So right now they're winning games and doing what they have to do, but a lot of softball left, and we'll have to play Wesleyan 2 more times later on, and still have to play Marion, who's top of the conference right now. So we'll keep fighting and try to see where we end up.
Well, yeah, and speaking of the conference and such, the baseball team now 8-4 in Crossroads League play, in 10-13 overall. But it is misleading as that is, coming out of the chute with some of the best teams in the country you're going up against and competing, just toughen them up for Crossroads League.
Yeah, we got to win series. Splitting at Grace yesterday afternoon. We've got to go up and get both today. We're in a good spot kind of nationally with what they call kind of a bow chip rating. I saw it came out earlier this week, and I think we're 42 or 44, and that's mostly due to our strength of schedule. We've got the number one strength of schedule in the country because of who we've played already. But now that we're into the Crossroads League, we got to win series, and we've done well doing that so far. Split it with Indiana Wesleyan last week between Friday and Monday. That's kind of the team we're battling for second. Taylor's kind of showing far and away that they're the best team in the conference, but it's really us and Indiana Wesleyan battling for that second spot. And so we split with them. We won't play them again, so that'll kind of be on our record till we get to the end here and see where everything goes. But they're going to have to get 2 today up at Grace and get some good pitching. They got some yesterday, put up a ton of runs in the first game, and then kind of bats went silent a little bit in the second game. So they're doing what they have to do, and getting good pitching, getting good hitting when they need it. But we've got to go ahead and get 3 out of 4 from most everybody from here on out, except for, we want to get to Taylor. We want to get 3 out of 4 from them, but split or winning a couple games against Taylor at the end will keep us kind of where we need to be from a Nationals perspective if we're able to get into that postseason.
We're talking this morning with Mike McCaffrey, athletic director at the University of St. Francis, in our weekly Cougar Chat. And track and field, are they at Miami of Ohio this weekend?
Yesterday and today over in Oxford. I think Ohio is where the University of Miami is. But, yeah, it took some kids over there. I think Coach only took a few team members over to the meet this weekend. I haven't checked in yet to see how they did yesterday because I know they're still there and they're going to be coming back later on today. But, yeah, competing over there, and then, before you know it, we'll be in the outdoor nationals. We've already got one qualifier. Our pole vaulter, Joey Rewerda, qualified last week by jumping 5 meters in his pole vault last week meet. We're hopeful to get another 7 or 8 to the outdoor nationals and go get some more All-Americans like we did in the indoors.
Yeah, like I said, and also, by the way, the SAC track qualifiers are taking place today at Turnstone locally. So that's I've got family in that today, so should be interesting. And those things seem to sometimes go on forever. And ever. I was out at Warrior Park.
Bring your lawn chair and your cooler, right?
Oh, yeah, you betcha. And my gosh, just the sea of humanity last week as I walked into Warrior Park, the Indiana Tech indoor facility out off of Tillman around Calhoun there, and just walked in, and holy cow, the number of schools represented was incredible. But there's a lot of determination, a lot of athletes in there as well. So that was a lot of interesting events.
Chaos, and it takes a special human to organize all those things.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't see how you can keep all that straight with all the different events. But anyway, they do it well, and I'm glad it's not me. So,
yes, sir.
well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Jim. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. You too. That was Mike McCaffrey, athletic director at the University of St. Francis, in our weekly Cougar chat. And actually, DC Hendrix, next week, they will be talking with none other than Mr. Adam Lundy. Adam Lundy is going to be filling in for both of us.
Let's go.
You're going to be gone.
Yep.
I'm going to be gone.
Yep. Shout out
Adam will be here.
Shout out to Adam Lundy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And he does a great job. Have you ever heard him taking over the Sports Rush?
Yep.
He's done that more than once, and does a fantastic job. So kudos to Mr. Adam Lundy for doing all that. So tell you what we're going to do. Let's go ahead, take a time out, and then we'll come back. We're going to I hope Shane's up. I hope the time difference out in Iowa didn't affect him. But a Comet win last night was all that the doctor needed to implore to the Comet fans. Hey, we're closing in on some playoff clinching and such. So we'll talk to Shane all about that when he comes on the air with us. You're listening to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One on 1380 The Fan, 100.9 FM.
Race fans, the wait is over. The NTT IndyCar Series is back, and 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM is your home for all the adrenaline-fueled action. From the iconic streets of St. Pete to the legendary Indy 500, every lap, every pass, and every checkered flag will be right here. Follow the world's best drivers as they push the limits for glory. Don't miss a second of the excitement this season. For a full racing schedule, head to 1380thefan.com. Only on Fort Wayne Sports Station.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Love is...
exhilarating and exciting.
Love is...
keeping things spicy.
Love is...
hot. So hot.
Wait, are you eating a Penn Station buffalo chicken sub?
Well, yeah, it's only here for limited time. I love you.
Huh. Now that's a sub I can love.
Spice things up with our Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Chicken Sub. Available for a limited time. Penn Station. Love your sub.
Today, young adults face big questions about their future. How will you make your mark? Do you want to be part of something bigger than yourself? Are you ready to learn new skills and make new friendships? Perhaps you have a dream that you're ready to make real. So, how will you make a mark with your future? As you embark on a journey toward finding these answers, the military can serve as a resource for providing help, information, and opportunities. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
If you served honorably in our nation's armed forces and you're looking for a way to continue serving your fellow veterans in your community, then join AMVETS. Each year, AMVETS members volunteer millions of hours at VA healthcare facilities from coast to coast, helping to improve the lives of their fellow veterans through the VA Voluntary Services Program. AMVETS posts and departments also participate in a wide variety of community service projects ranging from Americanism in our schools to supporting the Special Olympics and Boy Scouts of America. If you no longer wear the uniform today, you can still serve through the AMVETS by joining today at amvets.org.
Now back to Talkin Sports with Jim Shovlin on Fort Wayne Sports Station, 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One. That's DC Hendrix. I'm Jim Shovlin. Thanks for tuning in. We're talking local sports of all sorts until the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. If you'd like to be part of the show, you can do so via the text line at 260-447-8500. And especially if you have a question for Comet Hockey, because I just heard Motley Crue on the rejoin, which has to mean that on the Talkin Sports phone line, powered by Fire Police City County Federal Credit Union, has to be Mr. Shane Albahrani. Shane, are you there, sir?
I'm here in Iowa. Indeed, I am.
Yes. And now, did you arrive after the big blizzard and windstorm left the area?
You know what? We got here Thursday, and there was not an ounce of snow on the ground here in Coralville, and we were all kind of disappointed.
Yeah. We saw that there were some other teams that went out there, and they drove straight into the teeth of it. But, oh, well, that happens. But big win for the Komets last night on the road to start this 3-game series with the Heartlanders. And, Shane, tell us a little bit about Blake Murray.
Yeah, Blake Murray. The Komets picked him up for really nothing right now because it's for future considerations. But this guy is a pure scorer in the ECHL over the last 2 years. He was a deadline deal. Came down right around 3 o'clock on Thursday, which was the deadline. And he was in Atlanta. He had got traded to Adirondack the previous day, and the Komets were able to get him from Adirondack at the deadline. And he was a terrific pickup because he's a true centerman, and he showed last night what a true centerman can do. He won faceoffs. He got the first goal of the game, and just another piece to this team that is gaining a lot of momentum.
Well, yeah, and he scored not only the first goal of the game, but then assisted on Jack Dugan's 21st of the season in the third period as well. And for Murray, no stranger to putting the puck in the net. This is his 15th goal of the season, and we're just very fortunate to have been able to secure his talents as we get down the home stretch here. And my goodness, with that win last night, the Western Conference's Central Division shows the Komets firmly in second place, currently 7 points ahead of Iowa. So that was a 4-pointer last evening. And then just 8 points behind the Toledo Walleye. Now, as far as games in hand, the Komets have 1 game in hand on Iowa, but 2 games in hand on the Walleye. So this is going to be, and then it goes from there. You got the I don't want to say the haves and the have-nots, but you got the Tier 1 and the Tier 2, let's put it that way, in the Central Division. But, battling out for the first 3 spots and then battling out for the 4th amongst 4 teams. But, my goodness, the Komets are in a very, very nice spot if they can sustain tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, this was going to be a mini playoff series. We knew it would because there's really kind of no way around us not playing Iowa in the first round. So it was actually, it got a little chippy last night, and I expect it to carry over into tonight and even Sunday. But no, like you said, Jim, the Komets are pretty secure. They're confident in getting that spot. We could wrap it up here by the end of the weekend if everything goes our way. We just need a little bit of help from Bloomington, who came from behind. They were down 5-1 to Kalamazoo and won the game in overtime. That didn't help us out at all last night. But no, you say, you do have the top 3 teams in the Central, and then everyone else still alive for that 4th and final playoff spot. Indy got a big win against Cincinnati, so that hurt Cincinnati a lot because they had played the most games of any of those that group of 4. So, no, it's going to be fun because even though the Komets are secure, going into the last 10 games of the season, we're going to decide who that fourth team is because we're going to play Bloomington 4 times, Kalamazoo once, and Indy twice, and Cincinnati once. So the Komets can actually they can decide who that fourth team is going to be.
And that fourth team will have to play Toledo, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in the first round. But once again, Toledo, let's say in previous years they've had a tendency perhaps maybe to run away and hide with the division. Not the case this year. Single digits most of the time has been their lead, and the Komets playing some pretty good hockey, especially on the road. And is there a rhyme or reason to that, Shane?
You know what? That's been asked of me a lot. It was like that last year too. The Komets were a better road team than they were at home, but it boils down to these guys don't want to disappoint the home fans. So they play a little bit tighter. They're not nearly as loose. So that plays into it. And when you got between 8,000 and 10,000 fans in there a night, you do not want to disappoint the home crowd. And I think sometimes that just gets in their head. It's a little bit of a detriment. But once it comes playoff time, I'm sure that switch is going to be off, and it's just win a hockey game and move on.
There you go. Now, the Komets have been on the road, as has Mr. Shane Albahrani. When do you get to come home and call a game at the Coliseum?
Next Saturday. It's crazy. It's a 7-game road trip. We'll be there on actually, we got to go to Bloomington next Friday and play a home-and-home with the Bison, and we'll be home on Saturday against them, 7:30 start. It's already looking at a packed house already. There's not very many tickets left, so you're going to want to get them soon if you want to go to the game on Saturday. Yes, because the Komet fan base hasn't been able to get their fix, in a couple of weeks. So it's important. Get your tickets early and get into the arena and watch the Komets and Bloomington. So, Shane, thank you so much for I guess getting up early. You're an hour behind us, aren't you? We are.
Yeah. So I almost texted you yesterday. Are we still on? Okay, but you're a gamer, so.
I am. I always answer the bell. You know that.
Yeah, you betcha. You betcha. And so we will talk to you next Saturday.
All right, Jim. Thanks a lot.
All right. That was Shane Albahrani, play-by-play voice of your Fort Wayne Komets, and our weekly Komet chat. And the K's and Heartlanders go at it again tonight and then tomorrow as well. That's going to do it for Talkin Sports, powered by McMahon's Best One. Many thanks to, I'm going to go in reverse order, thanks to DC Hendrix for always keeping everything smooth. You have no idea. If you've never been in a radio studio, you have no idea what's involved in juggling balls to keep things in the air and keep things smooth. DC's a master and does it quite well. Also, thanks to Shane Albahrani for joining us from Iowa and giving us that Komet update. And thanks to Mike McCaffrey for his University of St. Francis weekly update as well. Thanks to you, the listener. Thanks for your text, and we appreciate that as well. And, go Purdue? Is that what we should say?
Go Purdue. Go Boilermakers.
Purdue, yeah.
Boiler up.
And go Spartans.
And go Spartans.
Yeah, get on to state. So don't forget, once again, Purdue, 12:10, 11 o'clock pregame on 92.3 The Fort. And Homestead Crown Point from Elkhart. That pregame will start at 11:45 for the noon tip in the semi-state there. So go Chris Johnson and the Spartans as well. So that's going to do it for Talkin Sports. For DC Hendrix, I'm Jim Shovlin. Have a great week, everybody.
Podcasts by Federated Media.